Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I know I've been gone for a little bit, but I'm here now. I'm here to stay. I'm remotivated, especially from this DC news that we got yesterday. That's what we're here to talk about and where we might go after those projects are over. But before we get started, make sure you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button so we can keep growing towards 250 subscribers. Now, let's jump on into this DC news. We're going to talk about the slate, and then we're going to touch on some things I think might happen after. First up, we got Creature Commandos, which will be an animated series written by James Gunn. It's in production now. They're looking for actors that can both voice the characters and play them in live action. I think that's really cool. Like, I always thought it was weird when What If came out, how like none of the actors except like Chris Hemsworth really came over. It's like I would jump over like a paycheck, you get to play the character again. But so I think this is cool. I don't know a lot about Creature Commandos. I know it's usually run by Frankenstein, and there's like agents of Shroud instead of Agents of Shield. But Rick Flag Sr. seems to be leading this group, which seems to be connected, of course, to the Suicide Squad, because I don't think the first one's canon anymore, really. It's kind of all confusing about what's canon and what's not anymore, but Rick Flag Sr.'s there. You got Weasel, who was in the Suicide Squad, so that's curious. And then you got, like, G.I. Robot, Bride of Frankenstein, Frankenstein himself, two others that I don't recognize. I don't know who those characters are, unfortunately, but I'm excited for this. It's perfectly wacky. Everyone's like, "Oh, what a weird choice to start off." It's not like it's connected, but it's not really the start. Like Superman's the start, but this is the first project. And this one I could honestly see debuting late 2024. I really could. It's already in production, so I could see it coming out late next year. Why not? I think that could definitely, like, the Joker 2, the Penguin, and Creature Commandos could be a really cool, creative year for DC next year. The second thing up is Waller, which is a sequel to the Peacemaker show. Of course, if you can see it, I got it right here on Blu-ray. I love this show. I've seen it twice all the way through. I love it. I hope we get a season 2 somewhere down the line, but this Waller show, of course, picks up the story where we left off with her in this. Viola Davis is coming back. Again, it asks the question, what's canon anymore? What's connected? What's not? I hope we get more answers after The Flash. The next project is the real kickoff, as James Gunn said, Superman Legacy, hitting theaters July 11th, 2025, written by James Gunn. Not sure who the director is going to be, whether it's, Steven Spielberg's been rumored to be talking to them about something. I would not hate seeing a Spielberg-directed Superman movie, but James Gunn could direct this. We'll have to wait and see. I think we'll get that announcement at San Diego Comic-Con this year, alongside who's playing Superman, but nonetheless, I'm excited. It looks like it's going to be kind of based off All-Star Superman, which sign me up for that because it's a great comic book series. The project I'm most excited for, an HBO Max series titled Lanterns, focusing on Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart in a True Detective style show where they are space cops and something happens on Earth. They unravel a huge mystery that ties into the bigger story of the DCU's first chapter, Gods and Monsters. I can't wait for this. I'm a huge Green Lantern fan. I love Batman, Spider-Man, but Green Lantern's always kind of been my guy. It was Jeff Johns' Green Lantern run that got me into comic books when I was like 9 or 10 years old. So I've been waiting for a good Green Lantern thing, live action. It seems like Green Lantern's always been cursed. We got a movie, it sucked. We got a great animated series, it got canceled. So it's like, finally we're going to get something good and important with the Lanterns, and I can't wait to see it. Up next, we have The Authority is going to spin out of Superman Legacy. That's what I hear from James Gunn, at least. I'm not too familiar with these characters. I know a little bit about them. I know they're kind of like the boys, where they're not scared to kill people. They're like, what are we doing? Let's just kill them and get this over with. I know the two main characters are like a Superman and like a Batman, and they're two gay lovers. And that's really where my knowledge of The Authority ends. So I'm very curious. This is actually the one where I could see James Gunn directing, not Superman, because this feels like the DCU's like, not, tonal wise, it's not cosmic, and it's going to probably be rated R, but this is kind of like their Guardians of the Galaxy, a group of ragtag people we don't know about. So I think James Gunn could direct The Authority, but we'll have to wait and see once again. Another project we have coming is Brave and the Bold, with Batman and Robin, of course, Damian Wayne being Robin. I've been waiting for a cool Robin on screen forever, and I'm like James Gunn. I'm one of the people that does like Damian Wayne. Is he a little shithead? Yeah, of course he's a little shithead. He was raised by Talia al Ghul, but I like the character, and I can't wait to see who plays him, who plays this version of Batman. Is it Michael Keaton? Is it Ben Affleck? Is it someone new? We'll have to wait and see how that pans out, but nonetheless, I'm very excited for that. We're also getting Paradise Lost, a Wonder Woman prequel set on Paradise Island, Themyscira, of course, and it's going to be like Game of Thrones style. This I'm curious about. Does this make the Wonder Woman movies canon? Will this set up the new Wonder Woman so Gal Gadot's not playing the character anymore? Very curious to see what happens with this show. Are we going to get, some of the actors from, dear God, I'm going to say it and probably get destroyed, the Snyderverse? Are we going to get some of those Themyscirans on this show? I'm curious to see that. Will they be younger versions? I don't know how their aging works. I'm not quite sure, but that's another project that's pretty exciting as well. The next film up is based on Tom King's great comic book run, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I've read a couple issues of this. I never completed the whole run, but I have read the first, I think, 3 issues. I think it's 8 issues. I read the first 3, so I got about halfway through it. I'm definitely going to go pick up the graphic novel version after hearing this announcement. This sounds very exciting. It's a different Supergirl. Of course, we just wrapped up with Melissa Benoist's long run of Supergirl on TV. She was fantastic, but it's time for something new. I'm curious to see if they keep, what's her name, Sasha Calle from the Flash movie. I'm curious if she plays this Supergirl, or if we'll get another Supergirl. We'll have to wait and see how that works. And then, of course, Booster Gold, another HBO Max series coming out. I love Booster Gold. I feel like this might make Blue Beetle canon into the new DCU. I think Booster Gold's great. We heard, of course, the Guardians of the Galaxy cast might join James Gunn over here. Chris Pratt as StLaurent. I mean, come on. The only other person I see being brandied about is Glenn Powell. I kind of want him as Hal Jordan, if I'm being honest with you, but I think Chris Pratt would be great. And what about, like, Charlie Day voicing Skeets? Why not? I just finished watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Why not have Charlie Day voice Skeets? Go full comedy in this and just... I'm excited. I'm excited for all these projects. And that brings me to what I'm super, super excited about. Swamp Thing. I've always loved Swamp Thing. Alan Moore's run on Swamp Thing was fantastic. I loved the Swamp Thing show on DC Universe a few years ago. I thought that was great. Unjustly canceled. I wish HBO Max would have picked it up and ran with it for a little longer. And this is another one. What about Batista playing Swamp Thing? Another Guardians member. He doesn't want to play Banks. He feels he's too old. What about Swamp Thing? I could see Batista totally killing it, pun intended, as a great Swamp Thing in James Gunn's DC universe. Those are the projects we've been told about, but what about the rest? Because he said this isn't all of Chapter 1, so there's more. I have to assume there's like an Aquaman project that we can't know about until we see what happens with Aquaman 2. I assume there's like an actual Wonder Woman project that we can't know about till after like Flash probably. I think with it being titled Gods and Monsters, there's a good chance, if we're getting a Swamp Thing film, why wouldn't we get an Etrigan project? I would love that. Gone, the Form of Man, Rise the Demon Etrigan. Oh my God, that'd be so cool. I'd love that. I don't know who they'd cast. Jason Isaacs? I feel like he'd be a pretty killer Etrigan. What else could I see? Do I see a Justice League? I don't. I honestly don't. I could see the end of their 10-year plan being all of this coming together as like whatever, if it's Kingdom Come, if it's Crisis, whatever it is. I could see that kind of being a Justice League tale, but I don't see like a regular Justice League. With James Gunn running it, however, I could see a Justice League International with like Booster Gold, Blue Beetle. They said there's other Lanterns in Lanterns, maybe you got Guy Gardner in there. Some of the more ancillary characters. I could see a Justice League International, like HBO Max series or something. Why not? Those are some of the projects I could definitely see forming out the rest of Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. I'm so excited. I love Marvel. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's a whole big-ass section back here of Marvel movies. I have the entire MCU, most of the Fox stuff, most of the Sony stuff. I love Marvel. I have multiple long boxes right over there full of Marvel comics, multiple Marvel Funkos, but personally, I've always liked DC more, so it's been killing me that their movies have been dog shit for years for the most part. I like some of the Snyderverse, but I hate some of the Snyderverse. The Dark Knight trilogy. I love that, even though Dark Knight Rises got a little... The Batman was the last big shining example of greatness, so I'm excited for the future of DC. I know not everyone is. I see a lot of people saying, like, this is stupid. Why wouldn't you just make, like, the basic Justice League members leading up to Justice League? I would hate that. I said the day before this announcement happened, I did not want that. I did not want them to copy Marvel. I didn't want just basic characters again, and I didn't think we would with James Gunn, and I'm glad we didn't. We're getting weird stuff like Creature Commandos. We're getting The Authority. We're getting Swamp Thing. Oh my God. If we would have followed the basic Justice League, we wouldn't have gotten Swamp Thing for like 20 more years. So I'm glad we're getting some weird out of this world stuff and we're getting like the Supermans, the Batmans, the Green Lanterns. So I'm excited. This is a perfect mix for me. I love this slate. I can't wait to see how video games tie into all this, because they said they're connected. So I can't wait to see, and I'm sure we'll get more answers at Comic-Con after the Flash movie about what's canon, what's not canon, and clear up all this muddy confusion. But what did you guys think of the DC Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters reveal? What do you think of my projects that will fill in the rest, like an Aquaman, a Wonder Woman, a Justice League International, and an Etrigan? I think those are projects that we could definitely see before this chapter one's over. But what do you guys think? That's what is important. Thank you all for watching. Thank you guys for sticking around while I took my little break, my hiatus, my mental health break. I'm back now, though. Friday we'll have a review for Knock at the Cabin. Make sure you stick around for that. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys right here next time.